Hi guys, welcome to this episode of our podcast. I'm so pleased that you joined me here. If you're watching on YouTube, then hello, and if you're listening to us on any of our podcast platforms, then a warm welcome to you too. Now, I'm so pleased that you've joined me today, but before I begin, I really want to say that I apologise that we didn't have a podcast episode last Sunday. We actually went away for the weekend. It was my birthday, and Jermaine had planned a surprise weekend away for us, so we didn't have a podcast episode last week, but we are back on track again this week, and we will be coming to you weekly from now on. So what I wanted to talk to you about today, which is something that I've really struggled with in the past, and it's something that I've really had to work on myself, and there are a few things that I do that help me, so I want to share those with you in the hope that they may be helpful to you if you have this same issue that I've had. So that is just not saying no to things. Like, how many of us just say yes to so many things when actually it's not something that we want to do, that we think is useful, or actually that we don't think we should be doing, but we say yes because somebody has asked us to, and we just can't say no. I know that I have definitely struggled with that in the past, and it's not just say like in a work context or something like that where you think, oh, you know, my boss is asking me to do it, so yeah, I may have to do it. No, just anywhere, all walks of life, family, friends, your partner, your children, anyone can ask you something, and sometimes it is so difficult to say no, when actually, why wouldn't we say no? We can say no to things. We don't have to do everything that anyone asks us to do. So I just wanted to share with you a few things that have really helped me in kind of getting that to a stage where I am far more comfortable just saying no to things. And the first one of those is actually that I just think about my self-worth and valuing myself, because ultimately when we say yes to things that we don't want to do, then we are valuing the other person more than we are valuing ourselves and what we want to do. And sometimes that's the case, and we will say yes to things that we don't want to do because we think that it would be really helpful. It's something that we may not want to do the task, but we really want to help the person. But ultimately, we have to think about our own self-worth, our own value, and that can really help us to say no to things, because ultimately we can say no to stuff. It doesn't matter if somebody asks us to do something. If ultimately we don't think it's right for us, we don't want to do it, or it just doesn't fit with what we're trying to do right now, then we can say no. So that kind of helps me. So I guess it's a bit of a, you know, self-esteem boost or a self-confidence boost, and it just gives you that little bit of pep to then say no. So that has actually really worked for me. The other one is actually just a practice. Like, I think it's one of those things that becomes easier the more you do it. And I have definitely found that the more I have just said no to things, then it's become a lot easier, because you don't get that kind of bad reaction that you may be expecting. And I think that may be half the reason why myself, that I wouldn't say no to some things, is because I wouldn't want to upset the other person, or I wouldn't want to like offend them or something like that. So I would say yes, but actually you don't get that negative reaction the more you say it, because when somebody asks you something, they know there are two possible answers, well, more than two, but if we look at it binary, there are two possible answers. You're either going to say yes, I can do it, or you're going to say no, sorry, I can't do that. So yeah, they expect that the answer may be no, therefore you do not get that bad reaction from the person, because ultimately, if they're your friends, your family, your loved ones, your colleagues or something like that, then they know you. They're not going to think badly of you just because you say no to something. So I think remembering that as well, you're not always going to get a bad reaction if you say no. So the more you practice, the more you realise that, then the easier it does become to say no. And the third thing, and this I think is crucial and really was a big kind of turning point in my mind about this, is that if you say yes to other things, then what you're ultimately doing is then using time on those things that you don't want to be doing, when actually you could be spending it on the things that you really do want to be doing. And that could be working towards your goals or your dreams or something like that, if you're working on something, or ultimately getting rest. It's so important that we look after ourselves, we take our rest. And if we're constantly saying yes and trying to do the things that we don't want to do, plus all the things that we do want to do, then where is the time for you? Where's the time for your self-care, for your rest, for looking after yourself? And ultimately there's a trade-off. There always is. There is always such a trade-off. When you're doing one thing, it means you're not doing another thing. And so ultimately, when you're doing the things that you don't want to do, it means that you are not doing the things that you really want to do, those things that will really move you forward towards whatever you are working on. So just remember that as well. And you owe it to yourself. You really do owe it to yourself to put yourself first, to think about what you want to do, and to make sure that you get the time, the space to do the things that you want to do. So next time you're in this situation, my advice and what has really worked for me would be think about those things and see if they will help you. There may be other things that may help you, but I just wanted to share these few things that I think about that really help me determine whether I'm saying yes to something or whether I'm saying no to it. And ultimately, if your gut feeling is that you should be saying no, then I don't know. I like to go with my gut on some of these things. So I really hope you found that useful. That's a quick whistle-stop tour through some of the things that I do to help myself learn to say no. Because it's actually a really positive thing. Saying no is such a positive thing, guys. So I just wanted to leave you with that on this Sunday. I really hope you're well. You have a great week ahead of you. Stay happy, stay healthy, and whatever you are doing with your life, with you working towards your dreams, your goals, whatever it is that you are doing right now, I wish you the best of luck with that. And we'll see you again next week. Now you take care, guys, and I will see you soon. Bye.